yes, going to go. And that would not have been good. There it is. It sees the construction cones, and look at how it navigates its way through here. All right, good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful, nasty day here in Washington. We've got update 2021.36.8.8, or for the beta testers known as 10.5, that we are going to be looking at today. Let's go through some of these. But first, before we get into this, I want to show you guys something so cool that we've been all waiting for forever. Check this out on the app. You can now customize the icons up here. For example, I can press and hold, and look at that. All these new apps come out. So you can go on here, and so this is what you got already. You can drag to replace. So if I want to put my summon up there, or let's say my trunk, because that's what's actually used, you just hold it over the one you want to replace, which is going to be my frunk. And now just like that, my trunk is now replaced. Heck yes. So finally, but you can do summon, sentry, you can start the car, you can flash the lights. And so that's pretty much where that's at. So that's what you get right now. So that's super cool. When you're done, you just hit save. I didn't notice a ton of new other changes to the app, although I did notice that down here now, if you go into the climate, it does tell you the interior and exterior and the time now when it will actually start making those changes. And if you slide up, you can click on defrost car, which is something I didn't see before, but that doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't there before. I just didn't notice this. So let me know down in the comments if you've seen that before. All right, now let's get into the actual upgrade notes here. So first off, we have full self-driving beta terms. So to use full self-driving beta, re-enable the feature toggle in control autopilot and view the term updates. So what they're saying is go back into your settings here, go into autopilot, and then you got to go back on and turn on the full self-driving beta here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's all going to re-engage there. We're going to put it back to assertive because we are awesome. So no, I didn't see any other changes going through here. So I think that was the only one that we had to toggle on the full self-driving switch there. Next is full self-driving beta suspension. It's not talking about suspension like in your wheels. It's saying it will not activate if it thinks there's improper usage being detected. So an example of this is if you or the driver, whoever's in the passenger seat, receives 3 forced autopilot disengagements. So this is when it says it will not be able to engage for the remainder of the trip. So like if you don't touch the wheel and it terminates automatically for you and then it won't let you put it back in till you go to park and then drive again, that is known as a forced disengagement. So if you get 3 of those, you will not be able to reactivate the whole autopilot full self-drive system. Then of course we have all those release notes that we've all reviewed and seen on Twitter and I posted about. Basically it's improving the VRU, which is pedestrians, bicycles, motorcycles, crossing velocity error, by 20% by improving their auto labeling. They've added 165,000 auto-labeled videos. Basically what this does is it improves the prediction for road lines, edges, and lane connectivity. Improved cone and side detection. Looking forward to checking that out. In order to do that, they've added 15,000 more video clips of this to basically be able to determine if it's a static object or not. And this is a really, really big one. And they're saying that they've improved cut-in detection network by 5.5% to help reduce false slowdowns, because so much of those, like what we call brake checks and all that stuff, where it goes down 1 to 5 miles per hour, is because the car thinks something is cutting into our lane. So this is supposed to be improved. We'll be certainly looking at that. Model object prediction at intersections. So what that's basically saying is that when you're at an intersection, they've improved the ability for the car to predict different objects, whether it's cars, bikes, or anything going through the intersection, multiple at a time. So it sounds like they put a lot of work into making merging better. We're going to be really looking at that today. They've improved lane changes by allowing larger deceleration limit in shorter deadline situations. That's pretty awesome, because if we got to get over really quick, it's going to allow the car now to go slower, basically drop the speed even more to get over in time to make that turn. That's huge. They've improved the ability for the car to creep forward to get more visibility before it actually makes a turn. I love that. Next, we have some visualization changes. It says when full self-driving is engaged, the apps are not displayed. Now, I'm not sure what apps they're talking about, but it looks like maybe all these up here or something, or maybe down on the bottom. I don't know. I'll have to see. It shows them in that picture, so we'll have to take a look. It says the driving visualization will expand to show additional surroundings information. Now, I mean, that's kind of been that way, so we'll have to, I guess, just see if we notice anything different there. And then the cabin camera has some changes to it. It says this camera up on the top here can now determine driver inattentiveness and provide you with audible alerts to remind you to keep your eyes on the road when autopilot is engaged. Camera images do not leave the vehicle. Okay, so I mean, we've kind of had that, like I've shown you guys when I pulled out my phone and stuff, it kind of tells you. So I guess we'll take a look at that. And then it says that we have access to live modes here for your camera surrounding the camera. So we've had that. So let's go out there and see if we notice any changes. So now, first of all, like so many of you guys have probably noticed, I'm not in the beta. It's not showing the beta right now. Sometimes it takes a while for, I don't know if it's calibrating or just getting ready for it, but or maybe it's determining that I'm not driving terribly. I'm not sure what it waits for, but sometimes it takes me 5 minutes for the beta even to kick on, which I find kind of interesting, because if you're going to have the car like pick you up from your driveway one day and take you somewhere, it obviously has to be able to just start that way. And it doesn't always do this. This is just kind of randomly. I haven't had my car driving for a couple of days, so maybe that's it. And sometimes too, if you put it into autopilot like this, it'll actually jumpstart full stop driving sooner. And like, there it is. See? Yeah. So sometimes it helps with that. I mean, the biggest thing I'm going to be watching today for sure is going to be the car's ability to like really handle the brakes. And so let's look at this. Here's a truck in our lane. It's going to go around it. Oh my word, that's beautiful. Now it needs to get over. I didn't tell the car where to go, so of course I didn't know what it was doing, but it did avoid that car, which was super nice. All right, we're going to go on a test now and try to turn into this neighborhood. And we're going to do that to see if it actually gets in the lane soon enough, because that's been a big problem over here. Okay, here we go. So the car doesn't have to detect any cars at the moment. Super smooth though, right into its lane. That's great. Now here's what happened every time on this before. The car needs to be in the lane that it's in right now to turn left up here at the light, but it always gets into the right lane first and then gets into the left lane at too late to even make the turn. So let's see if it stays in this lane. There it goes. It's gonna get out of this lane again and not get over. So now I think this is a mapping issue, but let's just see if it gets over in time. So it's gonna get over a lot sooner this time and try to make its way over there. Okay, that was actually a lot better than what I've been dealing with so far. And to be honest, really quite smooth. So even though it did get out of that lane, by far, that was an improvement on getting me back in, because in the past I had it. Now, if there was a bunch of cars in the way, I might not be able to do that. But what I want to do while we're in here is I want to put in a destination, and I want to see how the car handles going through this neighborhood and navigating its way through this. So let's take it through here and see how it actually goes. I'm going to start this off so we end up going actually through the neighborhood, and then I'll put it on. So put on autopilot. Now what we're watching for really here is to see how well it stays in its lane on the right side. So right now it's hugging it really nicely, staying in there. And then, so I mean, went a little more in the center there. But overall, it's definitely staying on the right side. Now here's a sharp corner or turn in the road coming up right here. Let's see if it slows down and takes this safely. Nice slow down and hug to the right. Very good. Now obviously it has to swerve away from this parked car on the side. And then look, it's going to put it back in. It's now drawing lines. Oh yeah, that's a huge improvement. Now here we swerve out again to avoid this car. And then back over. Fantastic. And let's see how well the creeping forward works here at the stop signs. We're stopping quite a ways back here next to this car. Like we're probably 15 feet from the stop sign. Autopilot creeping forward, checking visibility. Okay, that was good, except that we kind of stopped in the oncoming traffic lane just for a smidgen, but maybe it didn't stop. Maybe it was just doing one more quick check. That was probably okay. I'm actually okay with that. So, I mean, it stopped too long when it couldn't see, and then it creeped forward pretty far and pretty smoothly. So I don't know how to feel about that. Let's find another situation. Okay, next up, I needed to go straight here. The car turned into that lane and then quickly corrected back. Now, it shouldn't have been in that lane in the first place, but it did it really smoothly and came back really smoothly and decisively, which was actually very impressive. But anyway, we should be getting over here into this left lane now and getting ready to make this turn, but we're taking a while to get in here. It needs to be able to predict this sooner, because if there was cars lining up, like right now there's cars getting over, and they're going to be passing me right here. We're going to see what the car does, but I need to be in this left turn lane or I'm just simply not going to make it in. Okay, now we're getting closer to the light and I need to get over. But look what's going to happen here. I cannot get over now. So now I'm going to have to accelerate through this light. We're going to have to see how the rerouting is going to work. So let's see how fast it reroutes here. So there's the reroute. We'll see how this happens. So, you know, that was obviously a big fail. I mean, I was like, what, 3 car lengths to the actual light before it even tried to get over. So that right there is where I really wish Tesla would spend some time, because it doesn't really matter all this other stuff if we can't even make a turn, you know? These turn lanes are just a real problem. So let's see how it makes down this next one. See, already this one wants to get in like instantly. So like, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's just specific ones. Like, look at how far back we got in this one. Like, that was just beautifully done. And here's a yellow light, so the car should just go through this. Let's see how it handles it. Now, it doesn't handle, we already know it doesn't do well in yellow lights, so right now I'm accelerating, okay? Because it doesn't do yellow lights, the flashing yellows. So I still have my foot on the accelerator as of now, and now I'm taking it off. So now if you guys remember, at this light when I turned right here, it turns you right into a turn-only lane. And last time I didn't get out until the very last second, and you know, one of the times there was cars there, so it couldn't dart back over at the last second, and the one time there wasn't, so I was able to. I want to see if it makes any improvements today. And I do have to say that I'm really noticing some just incredible improvements on the line detection here and how clear all these lines are showing up on the screen. So we're still in the turn lane. Still there, going fast right to the end of it. Yeah, no changes there. Last second's gonna dart over and get out of it. It should have been able to recognize it, and my screen just froze here, by the way. Did you guys see that? That was interesting. But we're back on track now, and we're gonna make it down into this very busy arterial up here. So far, I think overall, it's a lot smoother. I would say smoother for sure. Let's watch now on this long straight where we're not gonna be making many turns to see, you know, just how well it does with the braking. See if the turn in detection, you know, where things people are cutting in your lane, to see if the brake checks or whatever we're calling that, phantom braking, is reduced. Now, I thought that 10.4 was already reduced. We'll see if it's even more noticeable now. I'll put it on fast forward here so we can get to more exciting things, but we'll see if it, and I'll pop on if any of that, you know, starts up. So far we haven't had a single brake check or anything of that nature, or what we're calling phantom braking. I'm in a construction zone right here, so we might have some kind of accuracy check here for cone detection. So far I'm only seeing cones that are actually cones. You know, so I've noticed a big improvement through that. And normally on this road we do get a lot of phantom braking, but this has been actually really good so far, really smooth. So super glad to see that. I mean, I love seeing improvements, and so far I've had a ton more confidence with this update than I've had with the last two. So this has been actually an enjoyable ride. I don't feel like I'm on edge, just ready to grab the wheel and, you know, prevent, you know, some sort of a scary situation. So it's been really great so far. Also right there, it didn't just stop for that school light that wasn't even on, which it's almost every time has braked, you know, really hard right there for that light, thinking it was something it needed to react to. So that was actually really great improvement. All right, well, I had to pull over and swap out a battery for my camera, so we probably missed a little bit there. But we're gonna take a look at starting from here in this parking lot and see if we can get back on track to our destination. So I'm just gonna move forward a little bit here, put it into drive, move forward just a tad bit here until we get the chance to engage autopilot. Basically, once it recognizes its surroundings and kind of where it's at and the road lines and all that, it'll give me that ability. And of course, right now the beta is not even activated, so it's gonna take a minute. There it goes. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna put it on right now and let the car take back over. And it's gonna have to reroute here because we're in a spot off course. So I'm gonna wait and see what it actually does here. So it's creeping forward, detects that person on the side. We're getting out into the lane, makes a decisive decision to go straight over the main arterial. And now it reroutes itself and is gonna have to find its way out of here. So here we're at a little bit of a turn with no stop sign, and it handled it just like there was a stop sign, which is pretty good. So again, it's finding its way through this neighborhood. I'm just kind of letting the car have its head figure its way out here. And now it's gonna go around this roundabout inside a neighborhood and figure it out. And there's a car in here. Let's see how well it handles this rerouting. I mean, this is the smoothest it's ever been since I've been on the beta. Look at the steering wheel. It's so decisive and just really figuring its way out. Like it got itself a little lost, turned around, didn't know where it was. I mean, in all fairness, I engaged it right in the middle of not being on the route, so I had to figure its way out. But look at that. That was so good. And then it keeps itself on the right side of the road, and then we're gonna make a turn here. Blinker is on, and find its way back. So the thing is, like, it does feel like it's, again, stopping pretty far back or slowing down pretty far back from these stop signs. So what I expect to do now is creep forward in a nice smooth way, look around, there's cars coming on the left, there's a car on the right. What's it gonna do here? Yeah, you keep stop. My foot is on the brake. It is creeping here and there. Car coming on the left again. Can it see it? I can't see it on my screen, but okay. Okay, yeah. That was going to go, and that would not have been good. So the car was pretty far. Like, there's a curved road like this. You can see it, and the car couldn't see it. It was back there. Not good at all. So that would have actually gone right in front of that car and probably slammed on its brakes at the last second. Let's try this again. Left turns have always been difficult for the beta system. Car coming on the far right. Let's see. You guys can take a look here and see what the car is seeing. Man, I hate these stupid cards. Okay. Car on the left. Oh my gosh, it did it again. We cannot get out of this road. If there's a car on that left side, it could not see it. That's a huge problem. If the car can't see that, how are they going to improve on that? That's 2 times in a row it did that. Man, that really sucks, actually. I complained in the beginning about it not getting in the lane soon enough, the turn lane, but it's just that one it has an issue with. Other than that, it's been 100%. Here's a green light. Are we going to accelerate and go? It's a green light. Why aren't we going? Oh man, we missed that light, and that was a green light. Why are we stopped right here? It's wanting to go forward. Oh, that's the thing. It put us in a lane that we weren't supposed to be in. Well, that's another big, disimprovement or unimprovement. I've never had it put me in a turn lane before like that. So that's not good. Now I'm going to make this the new destination here, and I'm going to tell the car to turn for me here and see what happens. Because there is construction in the lane that we're turning into, and the car doesn't know it. It's not putting it on the screen yet. We're going to see what happens. Here comes a green light. Okay, we're going to go. Yellow flashing. I'm accelerating right now because the car can't do it. There it is. It sees the construction cones, and look at how it navigates its way through here. So it did that all on its own. That was huge. Actually, okay, what are you going to do? I let it find its way through there. That was all the car. It went over and then fixed it real quick. That was so much smoother than before. Holy cow, that was so much. Now it has to get out of the way here. Let's hope it doesn't hit this cone. Turn away from the cone, turn away from the cone. It dodged the cone and then came back into its lane to make the turn. Yes! Now, of course, we can't end an update drive without taking it up one of the nastiest roads we can possibly find. So let's see how it handles this here. So it's got to cut. Don't cut this guy off too sharp. Gosh dang it, Nico. See, that's the thing. It cuts way too close to cars so many times, and that was something I was going to hope was going to be improved, but that would have freaked that guy right out, so I had to disengage it there. So these roads coming up here, these curves are really nasty. Okay, those are train tracks. It slowed down while we were on the tracks pretty well. These get up to 20 to 15 mile an hour curves in this road here, and I want to see it keep itself nice and centered. So this is more like the line control test, and I don't want the car to end up going too slow. That's the issue it has, is it slows down too much. So we did tap the yellow reflectors in the middle of there just a little bit, but overall it did pretty good. And still, by the way, still to this point in this drive, put it this way, I'm on my second battery in my GoPro recording. I'm obviously only showing you guys a little bit, even though this video ended up being really long. It hasn't yet done a single, there's been no phantom braking so far, so it's been really good. So here's a little 25 mile an hour curve in the road. It's going to handle that pretty well. And then here's the curve that's coming up here that's been a bit of a challenge for the car. You can see it up there. It's saying 20 mile an hour, but before, the reason it would just get really close to that yellow line, like on it every time. And so what speed are we going to handle it at? I'm going around at 25. We got close, but we didn't actually hit the reflectors. I didn't feel it, so that's a good thing. Here we got a 25 mile an hour recommended, really sharp curve in the road again, and we're handling it at much faster speeds, which is what I love. That was by far the best I have ever seen. So overall, I think that this update has a lot of good, like really, really important good stuff, like phantom braking. Okay, that's one thing that is massively better with this one, because it just makes you on edge your whole drive, and you really just can't sit back and enjoy it. I have enjoyed this drive. It's been overall really good, and so I'm really happy with that. On the other hand, there's some things that were a little disturbing, like not being able to turn out of that road onto a not even very main road there, you know, where I couldn't go because the cars on the left, it kept wanting to go right in front of the car, like right in front of the car. And it wasn't able to detect the cars. That I've never seen in any other update. That is a little concerning to me. But overall, I think this is a massive leap forward in terms of the full self-drive beta. I think that it took a big leap. So I'm really happy with this, and we're gonna do a lot more drives with this in the next coming weeks. So if you haven't already in the video, please go and like and comment below to help this video out. And of course, subscribe so that you guys get the next videos coming out. We're gonna do the parking lot challenge again here this week, where we take it into parking lots and have it try to find its way out, but I'm not gonna get stuck like last time. And so if you wanna end the video now, go ahead. If not, I'll let the video play for in about 2-3 more minutes, just so some nice drive, some music to end this video off. Thanks for watching.